be no killing without killing. With all due respect, definitely not going to be any killing without killing.
It's a case that's captured national headlines.
We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause.
You see me, I've been true to my colors forever, green and gold.
But he has the evidence he needs on the tapes.
And when you don't respect me, I'm gonna spank your ass.
What down, family? It's your boy SCN coming back at y'all with another episode of International Stepperz. And this episode is going to be about none other than Shelton Walker, aka Shorty Pop. Shorty Pop comes from the southeast side of DC. 4th Street and Berry Farms were known to be his stomping grounds. As a kid, Shorty Pop was more into music than anything. He joined a well-known go-go band originated in Berry Farm called the Junkyard Band, where him and friends would go around performing their songs. 19th and M Street was a very popular location in which they performed. Pop was recruited by a guy named Derek McCrae, who was pretty much like a talent scout for the band. The band even had a Def Jam deal. The band actually still exists to this day. His time in the band would only last about a year before he decided to leave the band and hop in the streets. His childhood was riddled with abuse. According to sources, his mother would beat him a lot, and this led to a lot of misplaced anger. Some say that this is what turned him from Shelton to Shorty Pop. I can recall one story where Pop walked to one of his friend's house with dog shit all on his face and body because his mom rubbed his face in it as a punishment for leaving his dog unattended while at band practice. At first, he became known as the leader of a bunch of Southeast shorties from Berry Farm that would terrorize kids from Kramer and Anacostia as they walked home from school. Then he became known as Shorty Pop, the cold-blooded hitter and robber. Pop eventually picked up a gun and began robbing people. Earning more and more respect, Pop began to hit anybody that he felt wasn't paying the proper dues. Then he would eventually do his first hit. Realizing that a certain level of respect came when you were able to take a life, Pop became bloodthirsty. Being a hitman seemed to be the only thing that made sense at that point. By the time Pop met Alpo, he was already well respected in the streets, and he actually had plans on robbing and killing Alpo once he found out where his stash was at. Pop, like many other DC natives, couldn't stand when guys came from other cities trying to take over. They felt like it was a slap in the face, like DC was sweet. At some point, Pop and Alpo would discuss Wayne Perry, and upon finding out that Wayne was incarcerated and needed help bonding out, Alpo jumped at the opportunity to put another hit on his team. Little did he know, he was saving his own life. Alpo agreed to get Wayne out, and this was enough to keep Pop at bay. After Wayne was released, the city would begin to feel the wrath of Alpo. Shorty Pop knew Wayne because he was a good friend of Pop's uncle. Now anybody that wasn't rocking with Alpo Martinez was subject to be exterminated. Demisio Benson and Matthew Blake are just two examples of people that Shorty Pop took out on the orders of Alpo. It's been said that Pop's rampage started in the 80s and didn't end until 92, after he was killed. Pop allegedly killed the guy that went by the name of Andre Smith at the Crystal Skate in Temple Hills. No one really knows the true story about why this happened. Only thing we know is that after Andre came out the skating rink, shots rang out and he ended up losing his life. Pop also was allegedly the one that killed Demisio Benson at a basketball game on the orders of Alpo. Allegedly, Demisio Benson got disrespectful for Alpo's girlfriend. Some people even say that Demisio was smashing her. Either way, Alpo would lure him to a basketball game where he would be killed. Demisio made it to the basketball game sorta at the end, and it was already planned that when he shook his hand, he was to be killed. Story has it that after Alpo grabbed Demisio's hand, Shorty Pop walked up, pointed the gun directly at his forehead, and pulled the trigger. Matthew Blake was also another alleged body of Shorty Pop's. According to the streets, Matthew wasn't rocking with Alpo. Alpo was trying to get Matthew to shop with him, and he wouldn't do it. So Alpo thought, well, if you're not going to spend the money with me, then you're not going to spend it with nobody. And Shorty Pop ended up being put on Matthew. Matthew Blake was actually killed in a shootout. According to the story, either Matthew shot back or some guys that was with Matthew shot back. But either way, Pop ended up killing him. The hit on Matthew Blake, along with another hit and an alleged sex case, will make Pop the youngest guy to ever be the most wanted for DC. He was only 17 at the time. DC's most wanted fugitive arrested in Montgomery County. Montgomery County Police, with the help of DC Police and the FBI, yesterday arrested Shelton Cortez Walker, a man identified by DC Police Chief Isaac Fulwood Jr. on December 13th as the city's most wanted fugitive. Walker, 17, who also goes by the last name of Watkins, was arrested about 4 p.m. on the Interstate 270 at Route 124 in the Gaithersburg area. He was in the car with 3 other people. Montgomery police, acting on a tip received by DC police, conducted surveillance at 2 Gaithersburg addresses and made the arrest shortly after Shelton Walker left one of the addresses. Shelton Walker of the 2900 block of Knox Place SE is wanted on murder charges in connection with 2 slayings in the district. The 1987 slaying of Tony Kenion, 29, who was shot in the chest in the 3300 block of 14th Place Southeast, and the December 6th slaying of Matthew N. Blake, who was killed during the shootout in the 3300 block of Camden Street Southeast. Walker was charged in October with assault with intent to kill Levin Hill on May 30th. The Levin shooting occurred in the 5800 block of Georgia Avenue Northwest. A bench warrant had been issued charging Walker with failure to appear in another assault case, said Sergeant Joseph Gentile, a DC police spokesman. In addition, Walker has been charged with murder and rape in Prince George's County in connection with the December 1988 slaying of Andre Smith at the Crystal Skate Rink on Branch Avenue. Walker and his sister were both being held last night in Montgomery County Jail. He's being held pending extradition to the district on the various warrants. Gentile said the arrests were the result of a joint investigation by the DC and Montgomery County Police Departments and the FBI. The Walker case marked the first time that DC police officials have identified a most wanted fugitive. Despite all of his charges, Shorty Pop would end up bonding out. He would be killed a few years later, coming out of the Classics Club. He went there to have a good time, and after the club was letting out, somebody caught him walking through the parking lot and hit him in the head with an AK. Rumor has it that Shorty Pop was hit and his face exploded, but that wasn't true. According to his family members, he was able to be stitched up and you couldn't even tell that he was shot in the face. But it is an actual fact that the guy that killed Shorty Pop was actually shooting at the ambulance because they didn't want the ambulance to save him. And I think that what we can learn is this: at young ages, we carry that warrior spirit, and a lot of times it's easy to be sent off. Guys can send us off to make life and death decisions for only a couple $100. In some cases, guys don't even get that. Why? Because it's really not about the money. It's about that warrior soldier spirit that we have inside of us that just wants to get busy. A lot of older guys know this, so they use that to their advantage. It doesn't matter the age that you are. If you're in the streets, you have to be wise enough and smart enough to know that a lot of the older guys are just out to use you. What can you do for them? Or what can they get out of you? They have no love for you. And a lot of times, the actions that you take in the name of another man can get you killed. This has been another episode of International Stepperz. It's your boy,